Hey, Ryan Patrick here at Peak Fitness and Sports Training. We want to talk about some of the biggest mistakes we see in speed and agility training across the board for a lot of our athletes or a lot of programs that we just have a little bit of exposure to in general. So, number one, not including strength training as the base. We talk to all of our high school athletes about souping up a car, right? You're going to take it from what it is to something that's more fine-tuned and refined. So, they wouldn't want to pimp out a Ford Taurus. We'd first want to get a Ford Mustang, and that's talking about getting a bigger engine with more horsepower, more torque. If you're not including strength training in your program, you're going to be missing out on that bigger engine to really learn how to refine and get maximal capacity out of that. So strength training is definitely a foundation that a lot of coaches or programs gloss over just to try to do a quick, get faster type of program. It's the foundation. Without it, you're going to miss out on long-term athletic development. Number two, drill surfing. A lot of coaches, a lot of trainers get bored with some of the basics or some of the best exercises out there, and they get on YouTube or Stack.com, try to find exercises that are new that will bring some variety to the program, but maybe aren't appropriate for everyone in there, or maybe they don't fit into the long-term progression of what that athlete needs at a given time. So drill surfing can be a big problem long-term because it takes away from what the plan is as a whole. Number three, are you training speed? Or are you training conditioning? A lot of coaches have limited time for practice, and so the program design doesn't really reflect that they want to train speed. Speed is about using the maximal effort, giving every ounce you can to every single repetition that you're doing. And that means that you need long rests so you can recover fully. A lot of programs are designed where kids are going in rotation or they're going back to back without really resting appropriately, and that's when it becomes more about conditioning than it does about speed. You can't maintain that high nervous system output when you're under an extreme amount of fatigue. Now, to be fair, there is a time when we want to train speed endurance and we want to see how long they can go at a certain speed before fatigue sets in, but it's not at the beginning of the program, and a lot of people miss out on that important element of actually developing speed before they condition speed. Number four, regressions and progressions. Similar to drill surfing, not every drill is going to fit each athlete at a time. So different athletes have different needs based on their body type, based on their training experience, based on their injury history. And within a sport, different positions have different needs as well. So if we don't have variations of the exercises that we're doing, we could miss out on appropriate training for a large portion of the people we're working with. A given drill might be appropriate for just a couple athletes, but if you have some advanced people who need a more advanced variation, or you have some beginners who need a regressed or simpler version to develop their speed, you're going to be missing out on all that by not having those tools in the toolbox, and it goes hand in hand with drill surfing. Number five, non-specific practice. Simply said, too many people work on just straightaway or what we call linear speed. But sports aren't played in straight lines. They're played at angles and cuts. So the athletes need to be able to decelerate going in one direction with the eccentric strength of their muscles and quickly go in a new direction using that concentric strength they've developed. So making sure that you're doing very specific practice to what the sport looks like and what the demands are is going to help you become quicker in terms of game speed. Number six, inconsistency. Any athlete who's not training year-round outside the sport to develop their basic physical capacities is going to miss out on the premium increases in speed, the premium increases in strength that they could get from a long-term development program that does include in-season and off-season training. So doing short 6 to 8 week blocks or never really getting a down period from the sport to develop yourself athletically is doing a lot more harm to the athletes because there's a lot of things that we can do in terms of injury prevention to keep athletes ready and physically prepared for the sport, as well as develop them so that they can perform at a higher level when it comes to the technical, tactical aspects of the sport. This is Ryan Patrick signing off from Peak Fitness and Sports Training, talking about 6 major agility and speed training mistakes that we see in lots of programs. Thanks.